one of those trap cards that you play the longer the series goes.
Yeah, I wonder if Alistar is going to be one of those surprise picks if RNG goes down 2-1 and they're like, okay, we have to win the next game, we have to do something special. For now, it is standard enough. Jace was banned blue side by RNG in the last game, and then we had Kennen being picked early. It is still an option for SKT to actually first pick the Kennen. And I wonder if Syndra is going to be banned on blue side again by SKT, because I think Faker is one of the best Syndra players in the world. For sure, it's a fantastic pick. And you can actually force the other team to ban it.
But you are going to have to be willing to first pick it.
Yes, you have to
Xiaohu, when he was known as Angel Beats, I talk about it a lot. LeBlanc, Syndra, that were his two go-to champions. Syndra has risen in popularity since then. The triple sphere stun is huge. So Faker, if you're willing to throw this gauntlet, you have to be willing to pick.
RNG also has Nidalee to look at. Blank does play Nidalee while Benki does not. So it is like a bit of a trade-off. RNG can actually leave both open, ban something third, and then take the Nidalee as a trade for Syndra, or get the Syndra as a trade for Nidalee, which I think would be a smart choice by RNG now, unless they just want to ban Syndra and not deal with it.
All right, question is answered. Is Nidalee taken away? Okay. Xiaohu's already played Vladimir once this series.
I want to see
Vladimir
Syndra here.
Into Syndra is what we see all the time. 10 seconds gone, and already SKT have locked that in.
So now RNG needs to have a plan. They need to draft a composition that can deal with Syndra. Some of the picks are like support-wise, Tahm Kench, Braum. Some of them can block some of the damage from Syndra works. Mid lane, Vladimir is being used a lot because you can't one-shot him in the late game, and he kind of outscales Syndra in these big team fights. They have to draft some picks that can deal with Syndra. Otherwise, they're going to get smacked.
But they know this is coming. I mean, you do not leave the best mid laner for the best player in the world without a game plan. So what do we see now? Do we see something like an Alistar come out with CC built into that mid lane, or do we just see, once again, neutralizing factors? This is a very big gamble, but we expected them to take one.
But was Elise really that scary that you had to ban Elise instead of Syndra? When we have a pick that's actually being picked more than Elise now in Olaf being taken. It's not even like they stole away that one. They actually went for Lee Sin. So they gave SKT what they were looking for. We get their... Or well, I guess we get Duke trying to get a safe pick with the Nard top lane. But the Arcanus... I know it looks great on paper with their Aurelion Soul, but it loses lane to Syndra. Vladimir is the one we normally see as the counter pick to Syndra.
The last time somebody tried to pick a champion that loses lane to Faker was Jensen. That did not end well for him. We're expecting the Vladimir. It's something we've seen a lot this tournament. I want to know what else RNG locks in. They can counter-pick Duke's top lane Gnar for Lupa later in the draft, and it feels like that's what they're going to do. Right now, Mata prioritizing the Karma. No Tahm Kench, no Alistar, no super surprise to try and deal with Syndra.
It's a problem because if they pick one of the melee supports, they lose the bot lane. And then you lose bot lane and mid lane early game, and then you basically forfeit the entire game. So they have to draft for laning phase. But we got some squishy picks already down that bottom lane, and Syndra would love to go down there and destroy one of them.
We also have a heck of a lot of damage, is the only juxtaposition. So if Faker gets kicked into the team, something along those lines, there's not really all that much that I'm looking at right now that saves Faker himself. And Syndra is very squishy, whilst being very high burst and good control mage.
But SKT really said, like, they set themselves in a good spot here, getting either first pick Nidalee or first pick Syndra, and also they ban away Jace and Gnar from Looper and then go, sorry, Jace and Kennen from Looper and go with the Gnar. Normally you see Kennen into Gnar as a really good matchup for Kennen. A lot of these carry picks are now being banned away. If he does go Rumble, yes, Rumble can do more than fine versus Gnar, but Gnar gets like a Hex String and just try and farm it out and do nothing else for the first 20 minutes.
Let's find out if Lupa locks it in. It will be locked in. So for the third time this tournament, Lupa plays Rumble. 1 win, 1 loss under his belt. SK Telecom have got a very quick 1-2 punch type of team composition. Early in mid-game, Syndra and Gnar and Olaf going to do so well. Mid-game, Ezreal takes off. RNG, no room for error.
I like nothing about RNG's comp.
Heading into Worlds, SKT has probably got the best composition, bar Olaf, which has risen in popularity as World has continued. But every other position, that is A or S tier at the moment.
Yeah, it is really, really scary to see Faker gets Syndra, and then blank on Olaf, so you have two of the strongest early game picks. In a 2v2 versus Vladimir Lee Sin, it goes so heavy in SKT's favor that RNG won't even think about taking that fight in the first place. Lee Sin also without...
Correct you really quick. Shouldn't,
yeah. They might take it anyway, but also like Lee Sin is so good if you have a pushing mid laner yourself. They don't. Vladimir's gonna get pushed to his tower. So a lot of these picks are super, super risky from RNG, and they risk getting completely snowballed on.
But RNG have a pushing top laner. MLXG maybe shows his face to help out Lupa. Lee Sin plus Rumble is a scary combination. Royal never give up, lost game 2 in the series in pretty convincing fashion from very, very poor, unforgivable early game decision making.
They can't afford to do it again. And honestly, when you have a look at a composition like this that is 0 tanks, this is an execution-based team comp. And RNG has shown that they can either do that or they can fall flat on their face.
Let's find out. Chicago, this is for a spot in New York City. Put your hands together for game 3 of SKT Telecom versus Royal Never Give Up.
And we were very critical of this comp from RNG in the pick and ban phase. Let's see what they can actually do with it. Bot lane, you have the Jhin Zyra combination that has been great so far. We know once Ezreal gets past level 4, level 5, then the Jhin and Zyra start taking over. Oh, Blank actually ghosted to get... He wanted to get down this bush before the Zyra, but Zyra was already there and actually spotted him.
In saying that, Ghost is such a short summoner spell.
Yeah, it's fine.
But I like it. That's cool. I think that this is the first time that we've seen SKT actually come out with a surprising level 1.
Just to get a ward in here to spot a potential camp. We need to see RNG win top lane and win bot lane to get past this early game here. They're not going to win the early jungle matchup. They're definitely not going to win the early game if we look at just the mid lane. And if this Syndra starts getting an advantage and starts roaming to side lanes, then she can one-shot everyone on the side of RNG.
We're looking for cheese. Like, let's be honest. When you go the RNG, you're looking for a quick gank top lane into a pushing Rumble that's going to guarantee level 2 versus the Gnar. Or you're looking for, you know, maybe trying to upset Faker early on in this game by bringing multiple members because they do have a pushing bottom lane as well, technically. I mean, you're looking for something special because they have deliberately put themselves in this situation.
Right. I think RNG actually just went back to game 1 and said, we can surrender mid lane pressure, and if we can win the side lanes, that's how we're going to win the game. And that's why they traded Syndra for something like Jhin, to then pair the Jhin with the Zyra. The thing about Karma Ezreal is, again, Karma Ezreal can get the push the first few levels, as we talked about when Ezreal is very strong, stopping Zyra from early roaming and trying to make a play in the mid lane. But RNG needs to be able to win these 2 side lanes, otherwise it's going to be a big problem for them.
RNG were able to do that in game number 1, almost without jungle interference early on, thanks to Lupa. This time he's got to do it on Rumble into Gnar. Bang and Wolf pushing forward as the Keystone Masteries flash up on your screen. No real surprises there. Uzi and Mata being pushed back, and we're seeing this matchup now for the 3rd time. They just keep trading back and forth in terms of who's playing the champion.
It's the same every time. Karma, Ezreal pushes up first, gets a lot of poke damage down. Jhin, Zyra gets level 4, level 5, gets the first back where you pick up a serrated Dirk or multiple long swords against the tier, and then Jhin and Zyra start taking over the lane.
While talking about Zyra taking over the lane, Zofiscio is a former Zyra player.
Many years ago.
Did I see a win speakers there on Mata Zyra? What do you make of that? We know we build some AP.
Still, not a big fan of that at all.
Tell me why.
Oh, just give me like a Thunderlord, give me more DPS in these all lanes.
It worked for Wolf in the previous game. He actually got a kill on Uzi, if I recall correctly.
With the Thunderlords?
Yep, with the Thunderlords. The Thunderplot.
I actually wonder if Mata just misclicked.
We'll have to find out later. For now, Mata and Uzi being pushed back. Level 2s on both duos.
I'm going to go back and see what he had in the first game.
I'm actually watching the junglers right now because you saw actually a red to blue start for the Lee Sin. This is the 2nd time we've actually seen MLXG value the experience of blue and not give it over to the Vladimir, who really doesn't need it. And both junglers has ended up on the top side of the map going for very quick clears. And that means that Lee Sin will hit level 6 early on in this game.
Yeah, seems to be the case. Lupa is about to spot out Blank. Deficio, I have heard from our stats benders that Mata did take Thunderlords in game 1, so we'll have to find out why. Xiaohu gets caught up by a Dark Sphere.
I think Mata misclicked.
That could be problematic.
And that is what happened there. Anyway, top lane, Looper gets the pushes we talked about. This is again why RNG tried to draft around the Syndra a little bit, remove junglers instead, try and give Looper a good matchup, trying to get a good matchup after first back in bot lane and then win that way. It is risky though, and we can see Faker roam later on in this game to these side lanes.
Gonna have the option to do so. Ghost and Flash looking down the line. Mata again, Flash Ignite on his Zyra. Could be problematic once Blank starts jumping in or Faker starts throwing down that unleashed power. Flash forward from Mata. Bang gets rooted. He follows up with a Flash. Wolf is able to sidestep the Sonic Wave. Now no Flash on Bang's Ezreal.
That was a huge all-in coming out of RNG, and Bang is good enough to avoid it. I mean, doesn't hesitate on burning the summoner spells. That really was a big all-in, looking for that advantage we keep talking about.
Exactly. That was MLXG putting focus on bottom lane. He knows he can't really gank the mid lane before he's level 6 on this Lee Sin. Tried to get an advantage. That's 2 summoners down. See if they can actually follow it up. We still know that first bag is important for RNG.
And no Flash for Mata, so got to be very careful in the next few minutes. All of a sudden, the lane slowly pushing in favor of Uzi and Mata. No consumables left for either Ezreal or Jhin, actually for anybody in the bottom lane.
And they're expecting the Olaf gank to be here. They're looking for the counter gank.
Oh, sucks for MLXG. He doesn't have that Trinket Ward available, so he can't jump over the Dragon Pit and move down behind SKT's dual lane. He could have then surprised Bang. And now instead he's Blank.
No Flash onto Mata. Root comes down. First blood picked up by Bang. Teleport coming down for Looper. He's got a Flash available. Not going to use it. Undertow comes out. Wasted TP and SKT get first blood. Not over yet. MLXG lands a Sonic Wave. Follows up
for Looper
on the resonating strike. Equalizer just tickles Blank's bottom. And SKT get away really unscathed.
And that was an overcommitment. That's what they were waiting for. Level 6 to hit so they could continue the chase. However, Mata falls way too quickly. And you have to criticize MLXG there because he was waiting for the counter gank and got impatient, wanted to go back to his jungle. And the gank was successful.
The thing is, they knew there was a ward there placed. So he stood outside of vision range of that ward, but he didn't have his own ward to jump Dragon Pit. So he couldn't get in there and actually pull off the gank unless he had flashed the Dragon Wall to do it. I've seen junglers do it in the past, but it is so risky to do because you don't know where the enemy jungler is, and then you've already used your flash. And that suddenly means Blank sneaks in, no flash Zyra, and instantly they pick up a kill. And we're in the replay now after Lupa has already joined. We're just looking at him and laughing at him.
Yeah, and this is where MLXG gets the call. I can actually turn, I have Equalizer, but ultimately it's not enough. And the biggest thing about this is that Lupa was pushing in top lane, should have had a really nice first back and should have had pressure into Duke. Now he doesn't have that.
And that's the important thing, because this hurts RNG in 2 lanes, not just 1 lane. It's not just the bottom lane getting slightly behind, it's also top lane now. And this comp had to win these side lanes to get past this early to mid game.
RNG did not do that. Minus 800 gold. Xiaohu's been doing relatively well in this mid lane, even on CS. Got the Spectre's Cowl. Mata gets jumped on, still no flash available, gets a root onto Bang at least. Mata continues to run away. Gets locked down by Wolf, and luckily, Uzi was close enough. And RNG once again playing from behind. One thing to Lupa's credit, very, very early on that TP. Unfortunately, the fight didn't last long enough for it to complete and for him to have an impact. And we'll see just how RNG plan to come back in. Faker gets a very good scat of the week, stuns up Xiaohu. Gonna keep an eye onto Blank. Nah comes up by Duke. He throws Lupa backwards, very early flash. Undertow into Undertow. This should be a kill. Just gets run down. It's a matter of time. Blank, kill number 2 onto Lupa.
It all falls apart now for RNG. Top lane is now losing already. Bot lane is gonna get pushed in. Mid lane is already pushing. This means SKT can start invading your jungle. They can fight your blue buff. They can fight your red buff. MLXG needs to pull off a good gank here. He is level 6. He's spotted by the pink ward and he's coming.
No flash for Blank. MLXG. Flash, kick. Root doesn't find Bang. Mata's in trouble. Teleport's coming down from Duke. Mata's rooted. They trade 1 for 1. But they get a teleport for the deal.
Yeah, really nice moves there out of MLXG. Goes for the person that doesn't have flash still in that lane. No exhaust really there to follow up. So he looks for the window. However, you have to say that Blank right now pretty much outperforming the jungler from RNG, and it's putting pressure on the Lee Sin to be able to make ganks happen.
He's down bottom lane now as well, looking for more. Uzi does have flash, so does Mata. You might as well just burn that flash.
MLXG's waiting around. As soon as he shows his face, Blank gets antsy and turns around. Unleashed power from Faker onto Xiao, who chunks him down. He's going to be using those transfusions to heal right back up. But pressure, that's what Syndra does. All right, curtain call. First shot goes wide. Uzi fires the second, the third, the fourth, but it's MLXG that goes down. Now it's falling apart.
RNG is just forcing time and time again where they do not have to. You can see that they're getting very antsy with the plays. And SKT, they are just so good at punishing these mistakes. You cannot afford to make them in the early game.
Now you get the invade on blue buff easier than SKT expected because obviously MLXG is dead. Blank was just sitting near that pink wall down the tri-bush. MLXG went aggressive after Blank had already been bot lane. He was actually just bot lane, walked out of the bottom lane. If you look at his replay, he walks out, he's at that pink wall, and then he's like, oh, okay, MLXG is not going aggressive. Fine, I'll rejoin.
And you can see, this is actually really clutch out of Wolf. He empowers the W, baits you in. You think that he has less health. He still has exhaust available. I mean, everything there is just set up so crisply. However, the play shouldn't exist from RNG. That's an outright force, and they shouldn't have to make those plays.
And gentlemen, going to go back to pick some mans where we said RNG shouldn't play hyper-aggressive, shouldn't look for some fights. And that's exactly what they did. Two-shot barrage to clear the wave. Equalizer was used up top as Lupa returns to lane.
I mean, that's the thing. I don't mind them playing aggressive once they had a good first back to the bot lane, picked up some items against the tier, then start playing aggressive around bottom side. But they already gave up kills before that, making it even harder. They are doing the correct thing technically in focusing bottom lane because they needed that lane to win, to take that early bot lane tower and actually start snowballing the game. Because now we're getting into this mid-game point, the Syndra is going to look for some of these squishies and just one-shot them every single time. And late game, you have tanks on SKT and you have no tanks on RNG.
I'll give some credit to RNG. They steal away that Cloud Drake uncontested. Duke is about to gnaw out, throws Looper against the wall, stuns him with the wallop, crunches down, looks for more, one last auto. Duke solos Looper and says, game one sends my regards.
Beautiful play out of Duke. Hides in the second brush, has the first brush warded, knows that Looper wants to go aggressive. Once he's in overheat range, he just punishes. And this is what Duke should be able to do. He is a great 1v1 top laner.
Dum 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 Blank!
Ah, Blank into the axe into the wall.
He pulled the undertow short. MLXG gets away with it, but this will cost Tower first blood in favor of Faker and Blank.
Yeah, exactly. Vladimir can keep even in form, but he can't stop the Syndra from pushing. We get to see top lane 1v1 again.
And look, he's just waiting for the window where he can go in because he knows the next couple of scrap shields are going to force the overheat. Looper, with no flash, with no ultimate available, has absolutely nowhere to go and it gets crushed. Crunched, I think it is.
Quite literally.
Yeah, he actually got crunched. You're 100% correct. And sadly for Looper, this is what happens when you TP out of your lane very early and you start falling behind and get ganked right after. I had no flash.
Unleashed power, not going to get used by Faker. Frozen Mallet was picked up by Duke. Really going to commit to that side lane 1v1 style of Gnaw. And when you've got this sort of advantage over Rumble, you can just bully him in mini Gnaw all day long.
Yeah, Rumble is not like a 1v1 champion. He wants to team fight. Gnaw can go Frozen Mallet into Hex Stringer and just split push all day long and be much stronger later on in the game in the side lane. Rumble really needs to get into this team fight. So does Vladimir, so does the Zyra for RNG to win. Setting up a small trap. Duke has no flash. MLXG does have flash.
Xiaohu's even coming up for this one. Duke knows something's up. There's been a number of pings.
Yeah, mid lane is missing.
Top and middle. Wasted time. MLXG and Looper, they back away. Can't even find the opportunity. Duke does not overextend.
And they don't want to overextend for the play because Duke's Narvar is building up nicely. Faker had disappeared into bottom fog of war, and you could see that Uzi and Mata weren't willing to give up the turret, so they have to call that play away. Otherwise, there's a 4v2 on the bottom side of the map waiting to happen.
And now you're playing against a perma blue buff Syndra who can take 2 buffs on the map because you own both jungles, basically. RNG can't really do anything to stop you. And it's just a matter of time before this bot lane tower either dies or SKT just goes for the straight up dive with Faker coming down, with Blank coming down, and just 4v2 against RNG. You can also do it on top side. They can dive the Rumble as well if they want to and take that tower. Right now you can go to every lane if you're SKT and you can win.
SKT have got so many options available to them. Infernal Drake is up next. They've got a 4,000 gold lead before 15 minutes. And MLXG is just scrambling. He's down 12 CS, Blank 2-0-1, Duke 1-0-1, and now the bottom tower is being sieged.
And that was a TP ward placed here by Blank. It got cleared out instantly by MLXG. He can just put down another one, or TP to this one and try bush. And that means RNG should leave the bottom lane now. Otherwise, Duke can TP down, and then you're gonna die.
Oh, Mata was in the lane when you said that. Lupa's got a teleport available as well. It looks like Mata and Uzi have made it out, but it will concede the tower.
But the fact that they don't even have to burn anything for it, they can just posture for the play, use none of the spells that are required because they have priority in the top lane, priority in mid lane. Nothing is being pushed in RNG's favor right now. SKT pretty much bluff them off the turret, don't have to burn anything, and still pick up the objective.
It's the beautiful thing when a team just plays by the book. What's the optimal play right now? Set up a potential dive bot. Okay, let's do that. Enemy team has to now just walk away. Faker sadly is not in a position to fight for this blue buff, so he has to give it over. But who's gonna get it? Lee Sin or Vladimir? Meh, no one cares.
Duke's looking to solo Lupa under the tower, but his Mega Gnar runs out. It's good damage onto Lupa. And this is where now 15 minutes in, down 6,000 gold. Now you punish RNG. Now you talk about this picks and bans, this draft that they opted into. They didn't play it properly, and they've been punished severely.
And this is what getting access to mid lane looks like in a very high-level game of League of Legends, because it means that Faker is always chipping out Xiaohu, and it gives you access to both of the jungles, so you can spot ganks when they're coming topside, and it also gives you more room to make your bottom side plays. You can always move first to them, and honestly right now, RNG is just hemorrhaging.
Yeah, I mean RNG very clearly gambled in the pick and ban phase. That's why we said we also didn't like it, because it's so risky, but it was a full gamble on winning the two side lanes, letting Faker, yes, let him win mid, but just try and keep him there, and then see if we can snowball, especially the bottom lane, get that bot lane tower, and then move Uzi and Mata around the map and be this strong force we can play around. Problem is, you didn't get that kill on the first gang, and then you overcommitted after and gave up 2 or 3 kills in the bottom lane. So then your composition falls apart.
And now you have to look at what they're willing to do to try and buy themselves back in. Just go straight Leandri's Torment, no boots upgrade as you would normally see out of Lupa. They have one mid-game team fight where their composition may just carry them through with the amount of damage, or everything just might be over here.
Mata just gets taken down. Dark Sphere secures the kill. MLXG gets a Dragon's Rage kick back, but there's simply not enough damage. Blank is running amok. That's the second of the fight for SKT. Xiaohu's got one back onto Faker. That's the second of the game for RNG. Good flash away, saves Wolf's life. Blank is going to be the next target. Xiaohu's already burned through Ghost. He's going to find 2 players. Duke's Mega Gnar was used earlier. Lupa plus a tower, not going to be enough to kill Duke, and they lose him. We jump back to mid lane. Xiaohu's kill, not done yet. Bang's looking for Uzi. The tower, the laser. Bang gets the kill, and Bang gets out alive.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. They had one little small opportunity in that forest, and SKT crush RNG.
What a great team fight, though, from SKT. Each player is showing individual ability here. Bang in the end, diving on the tower for another kill. And once you have such a big goal lead, then you can start showing off a little bit.
But that was the window. I mean, that was where they were like, we have the items, we have to go right now because we're getting outscaled. They're beating us at everything we do well. They pull the trigger, but they just don't commit as a unit.
Oh, this is what we talked about in the bigger man phase. When you pick these squishy supports, try and win lane, then Syndra is just gonna blow you up. Kick back on Wolf from MLSG. Definitely do not agree on that one. Needed to go for someone like Faker. Yes, he does die in the end to Xiaohu. And now the problem for RNG is they can't really get onto any other targets.
But this should have been a winning team fight. Kick Faker in. Take the 1-for-1. If you want to keep chasing, get the Rumble down into the lane. Back him off turret. Don't stay up there.
Look at Bang, though.
Bang. Wow. Flashes. Yeah, he's really good. But this should have been so much better out of RNG, and SKT find them wanting right now.
I want to see that spawn picture on Twitter now when you're like, oh, Bang's Israel. Very good.
Thumbs up.
Where was he on the top 20 list?
I think he was number 5 or 6.
Number 6.
Number 6, I believe. Yeah, showing his worth. Wolf is going to get jumped on here. Kick back by MLXG. There's going to be a lot of damage to follow up.
We just need 13 more of those the LPL region right now.
One thing I've noticed today, Let's see it after here. This is probably not gonna... Oh, actually...
Xiaohu's looking for more. Sanguine Pool under the tower. RNG are going very aggressive for this. Xiaohu's taking a lot of damage. Equalizer thrown down into the mid lane. Blank and Faker make it out alive. RNG got a minion wave to work with, but look top. Duke is sieging, pushing down the tower. Bang has now joined the rest of SKT in the mid lane. There's not enough damage. Uzi's looking to zone away Bang. A lot of damage. Faker kills MLXG. That's the early game damage of Syndra. Looper's running for his life, overheating. Scrap Heap shield's gonna come back up, get a little bit of movement speed. Turn back around for a second or two. I'm not sure you want this fight, fam. Looper's gonna be in trouble. Manages to escape.
In comes Zyra.
Root onto Blank. The fight's not over. Overheating for Looper. That's the shutdown goal. Small advantage, but he gets dropped by the True Shot Barrage. Faker gets another. Secured with Scatter the Weak, and SKT get a tower.
RNG, they try it again. They know we just have to go all in for some fights here in the mid game to try and win. They don't have to wave clear to just stall the game another 20 minutes. Sadly for them, it backfired once more.
However, this is an RNG playing towards their tendencies. They don't lose gracefully. I mean, they're just throwing the kitchen sink time and time again. They're looking for that little lapse in concentration that can sometimes happen, but never against a team that is as good as SKT, and trying to punish a mistake that just isn't there. And in fact, it's making them make the errors over and over again.
But if you're RNG at this point, you don't actually care about losing more fights, because you know the game is already way out of hand for you. So they're trying to push up mid. Would actually have loved to see Lupo use ulti towards Faker, but instead MLSG gets stunned, one-shotted, and now the chase is on.
That's rough, and you can see time and time again, they're like, we have to turn this. It's still only a 3v4. Uzi's like, I want nothing to do with it whatsoever.
Skartler is not even helping. He's running away from the fight, watching all these people die.
Mata's like, I've got them this time. They do pick up one, but it costs them two. Shut down.
Classic SKT move. Let the jungler die. Let the rest clean up instead. They pick up some more kills. Wolf is even joining in the end.
But if you think this is over, like, think again. They're just going to continually group aside.
It's all they can do. Just keep trying to fight.
Well, as we come out of that replay, gentlemen, that was the second time that Royal Never Give Up have given up and make a huge gold lead at 20 minutes. I'll get to that in a second, because here's the fight. Butter gets stunned out. He's going to get dropped. Unleash power from Faker. Equalizer on the mid lane. Gets dropped by Looper. He's overheating. They get a kill into Faker, but lose the entire team. 4 for 1. Only Uzi stays alive, fighting from the jungle.
I talked about it in Champion Select. Syndra, very immobile, easy to blow up in team fights. The problem is she killed about 3 people before she went down this time around, and that just means that now with a 13,000 gold lead, SKT take everything.
Definitely take the Baron. Take the kills.
Take the gold, take the towers.
Take the wife, they take all of it, man.
Absolutely everything. SK Telecom are just moments away from closing out Game 3 of the series. Here's a replay of that fight.
Yeah, off that fight here. SKT diving on. Let's see actually what happens. So Mata gets stunned, goes down, but does get off a good ulti. Knocks up Faker without any flash for just a few more seconds. Equalizer hits, but you got Locket already. You're really far behind in levels, so the shielding really matters now. You just don't have the damage to take down Faker fast enough.
So I was saying it just before that fight broke out. Last week, Royal Never Give Up got smashed by Samsung Galaxy. They conceded the largest gold lead of Worlds. This game was 300 gold short of that record. They got smashed again, and that's just to go to what Spawn was saying. RNG either steamroll ahead and win, or steamroll down a hill and lose. Either way, they're steamrolling.
Yeah, 100%, and this is the dynamic style of League of Legends that has made them so successful, yet polarizing, even within the LPL region. And this style of League of Legends that SKT plays, that is near flawless, you have to play multiple stages of the game against them and have a game plan every single time, is why RNG are going to struggle to match.
Well, Xiaohu's going to get rooted down in place. Very good Deadly Flourish. Flame Splitter comes out, Electro Harpoons. 5-man stack, and it's Uzi that gets the kill credit.
I've noticed in this series here, whenever we really praise one team, they make a mistake right after. Second time we praise SKT and Wolf dies instantly.
So you're saying it's our fault?
I think we're constantly cursing the players and jinxing what's happening.
That's the thing. The caster curse is very, very real.
It is legit.
Well, flash away from Looper. He's been run down, this time by Bang. Looper has been soloed by multiple members of SK Telecom this game. True Shot Barrage doesn't find a target. Bang's going to be sad about that one, but Duke now going toe-to-toe with Xiaohu. Black Cleaver and Frozen Mallet, not the tankiest.
He didn't even care about Hexstring. He was like, nah, I don't need any sort of magic resist right now, or a little magic shield. Did go for magic resist later, once he had his Frozen Mallet, and some more damage with the Black Cleaver, so his build is perfectly fine, especially when you're this far ahead. Let's remember the Looper TP'd down to that bottom lane, kind of handed over the lane to Duke, and then got ganked after to make it even worse for Looper, and it's been a tough game for all of RNG.
Whoa! That's a good kick onto Bang! They're gonna find him! Shut down! But it's at the cost of MLXG's life. Xiaohu's using the Sanguine Pool. Emo Plague! Not gonna kill Faker! It does! Blows up on the back end. The damage pops him down. Lupus throws down the Flame Spitter. Fighting in the base though. Some minions pushing onto the Nexus turret. Duke's doing the best that he can. Looper forced to back away with the rest of Royal Never Give Up. 2 for 2, but the base is now in shambles.
Royal just keep coming at him time and time again. They really want these team fights. However, Duke just stays at home, does the right thing. SKT playing slow, methodical League of Legends.
Well, RNG did defend the Nexus turret. It's gonna get some HP back as well. And they got a few more kills in a fight. It is small victories for RNG. They might need 20 more of those.
And let's talk about those victories, because the longer this game goes, the more you get to reset your mentality. Get to think about what you want to do next game. This is actually just individually stunning. Able to get in there, ward hop, flash kick. That's really nicely played.
And that was kick flash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, prime the kick, then flashed after.
The follow-up damage comes in.
I mean, this is what I like about Vladimir against Syndra is you can just dive her later on in the game and then you pull so you don't get one shot and you can take her down with you, at least. Problem is the rest of your team is really far behind as well. Like Xiaohu stayed even in farm for most of the early game and then started falling behind. Later, lost his mid tower as we expected. He's going for a kill on Bang.
He is indeed. Curtain call not available. Xiaohu gonna back away. No True Shot Barrage for Bang.
But I do honestly believe the longer this game goes, the easier it is to reset your mind as the RNG squad. You've been absolutely smashed in the early game. You made a bad teleport play. Now they're talking about, was it the draft? Can we gamble on it one more time? Was it the play that was specifically bad? Do we think that this team fighting, now that it's kind of into a late-ish game situation, is this good enough if we're on equal footing? There's all these scenarios that they can now run through as a team, as opposed to just being crushed in 23 minutes, as happened against Samsung Galaxy.
And that's very important because RNG gets side selection in the next game. There's no more room for error. You anticipate SKT to close this game out, and then RNG cannot afford another early game mishap. That's 2 games in a row now, and they've given the advantage. MLXG looking for Wolf. Wolf, though, slashes away. Not going to fall prey to the same movement. Looper's in trouble. Duke's got a GA, a Cleaver, a Mallet. He's looking for more, taking on 3. That GA will pop shortly. Flashes away. Ignites, burning him down. Guardian Angel pops. The rest of SKT Telecom, they're down in the bottom lane. Xiaohu's left alone. He hops over the minions. Sidesteps a deadly flourish. MLXG's looking for the kill. Sonic Wave connects. Resonating strike. Duke might just survive. Mega Knife coming up. The boomerang. The excitement. Duke survives. Takes down MLXG. The rest of SKT, they break open the base. Inhibitor in the bottom lane is now down, and RNG are scrambling.
I take it all back. That is a tilter right there, Deficio.
Duke getting his revenge. MLXG didn't want to talk next game. He wanted to go for the kill. Sadly for him, he's now 0-6 on this Lee Sin. And the annoying Gnar refused to die in the top lane.
He's coming back for more. He's teleporting in.
Teleporting to the top lane, will go toe-to-toe with Uzi in a moment. Inhibitor in the middle lane is down. 18,000 gold difference. Undertow connects from Blank, and RNG, they can do nothing to defend. They have 2 Nexus turrets remaining, and Duke, he's gone full Goku. It took a couple episodes to charge up and find Super Saiyan, but now that he is destroying RNG.
Definitely true in this game. He had to get quite a lot of punches in his face first. Dives in, takes the fight in the base, wants the entire team to chase him as well. But see, this is where people think RNG is losing. No. This is the strategy. You're now farming 3 lanes with super minions, and you have a Vladimir. As long as SKT doesn't do anything for about 15 minutes, Vladimir's gonna be on 6 items.
I'm sensing a hint of sarcasm there.
I mean, some teams have tried it before. Oh, we don't want to see the ending.
Oh, we didn't get
spoiler. Duke killed him.
Somebody needs to put, is it Benny Hill, that music?
Yeah.
There to the background. Pretty funny. Duke's going to find MLXG. Red buff, Hyper gets rooted up. Mata may have saved MLXG's life, but MLXG loses his flash. That is important, because that means Faker or Bang cannot be flash kicked backwards.
But 2 games back-to-back now, we have seen the beautiful yet terrifying beast that is SKT when you feed them early advantages. They just keep coming. They are an absolute juggernaut.
And RNG was a team who should be able to win early game and not make so many mistakes like they did in this game specifically. Because then the composition, we could see what they tried to do. They just misplayed everything.
Run! Run!
He's coming!
But I think it is that pressure that you have to win early game to even have a chance that makes you take these risks when really, from an outsider looking in, you're like, you shouldn't have to play this way. SKT just makes every team they play against play this kind of League of Legends.
That helps when you can punish mistakes as flawlessly as SKT do. Super Minions and Duke, they force the flash out of Shahu. Mata runs for his life. Nexus turret is dropping. Equalizer to buy some time. Strangle Thorns does nothing, nor does the curtain call. SK Telecom are 1 win away from Madison.